Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video. In this one, I'm going to be discussing as well as showcasing the ultimate best class setup for the AK-47 assault rifle here in Call of Duty Warzone. So of course guys, if you weren't already aware, with the Season 3 update for Warzone as well as Black Ops Cold War, the AK-47 assault rifle did end up getting a buff, and because of that reason, I must admit in the current state of Warzone, the AK-47 is an extremely good assault rifle, and just to clarify, I'm referring to the Black Ops Cold War variation of the AK-47. So because of all those reasons, that's how come I wanted to check it out as well as do best class setup on it in today's video. So with that said, if you guys go on to enjoy this one, make sure you leave a like comment down below, as well as subscribe and turn post notifications so that way you guys will not miss any of the latest and greatest Call of Duty news, class setups, and all kinds of things like that. So without further ado, now that I got the intro out of the way, let's dive right into it. And alright guys, so of course to kick off today's video, let's talk a little bit about the AK-47 assault rifle. Of course, the AK-47 is a very strong as well as versatile assault rifle in both Call of Duty Warzone as well as Black Ops Cold War multiplayer. Interestingly enough, if I were to make any comparison, I would say that the Cold War AK-47 in Warzone is very comparable to the Agra assault rifle that we did end up seeing in Modern Warfare, being that both weapons have very solid damage, a consistent fire rate, as well as extremely low recoil once you put on the right attachments that I will be showcasing in this video. Overall, those attributes make this weapon very versatile at all ranges. However, generally speaking, this weapon really excels at those close to medium range engagements, and in certain circumstances you can use it like a submachine gun. However, just keep in mind you will likely be outclassed by other weapons like the MAC-10, but if you really play it right and you stick to those medium range engagements, you can absolutely laser opponents with the AK-47 and there's nothing that the enemy can do about it. And interestingly enough, because of that, it means that this weapon is extremely good when paired with a sniper rifle, for example the KARNAGE AK or the SPR, and that's the exact combination that I was using in the gameplay that you guys are watching in this video, as well as a combination I was using for the actual class setup. And with that said, without further ado, let's actually talk a little bit about it. And as you guys can see, the class setup is on your screen right now, so let's go ahead and break it down a little bit. Of course, for my primary weapon, I will be using the standard variation of the AK-47, but if you guys would like to use any variation, feel free to go ahead and do so. Moving on down, for my secondary weapon, I will be using the standard variation of the KARNAGE AK, and let's talk a little bit about my perk setup, in which I will be using EOD, Overkill, and Battle Hardened. Lethal is of course going to be the throwing knife, because if you guys have been playing Warzone recently, you would know that the throwing knife is kind of meta right now, because if you down an opponent, all you have to do is hit them once with the throwing knife and they're going to be instantly dying, so it's extremely useful, and that's how come we are going to be using it. And moving on down, naturally for my tactical, I will be using the heartbeat sensor. So with that said, now let's talk a little bit about the attachments I will be running on my AK-47. Of course, my first attachment, I will be using the GRU suppressor, which will be increasing the sound suppression, vertical recoil control, bullet velocity, as well as effective damage range. So yes, this particular attachment has a lot of benefits for the AK-47, and that's how come we are going to be using it, only for a slight negative downside of negative aim down sight speed as well as aiming stability. However, we are going to be counteracting that with a couple other attachments that we are going to be running. Next attachment is naturally going to be the 18.2-inch VDV reinforced barrel, which will be increasing the effective damage range as well as bullet velocity. Third attachment will be the KGB skeletal stock, which will be increasing the ADS firing move speed, aim walking movement speed, as well as sprint to fire time. Fourth attachment is going to be the Spetsnaz grip, which will be increasing the horizontal recoil control as well as the vertical recoil control. And of course, for our final attachment, we are going to be using the 45 R&D magazine, which of course will be increasing our ammo capacity, going from 30 rounds to 45 rounds, and it's extremely useful because since the AK-47 has a relatively above average fire rate, it means that you are going to be burning through ammunition relatively quickly. So if you put on the 45 round magazine, it means you are going to be able to take out a couple of opponents without having to reload, which is extremely useful. And of course, if you knock down an opponent, you can always hit them with the throwing knife and you don't have to worry about spending any ammunition trying to finish them off. And alright guys, so of course those are all the attachments I am going to be running on my AK-47 assault rifle. So now let's talk a little bit about what I am going to be running on my KARNAGE AK, which is of course my secondary weapon. Of course, my first attachment, I will be using the monolithic suppressor, which will be increasing the sound suppression as well as damage range. Next attachment is going to be the Syngard custom 27.6-inch barrel, which will be increasing the damage range, bullet velocity, as well as recoil control. Next attachment will be the tac laser, which will be increasing the aim down sight speed, aiming stability, as well as aim walking steadiness. Next attachment is of course going to be the sniper scope. Now if you guys would like to swap out this particular attachment for the variable zoom scope, feel free to go ahead and do so. However, for this class setup, I'm just going to be using the standard sniper scope. Next attachment will of course be the stippled grip tape, which will be increasing the aim down sight speed as well as sprint to fire speed. And yeah guys, with that said, that's gonna effectively wrap up the class club portion of today's video. If you guys haven't already, make sure you comment down below what your thoughts on the AK-47 assault rifle here in Call of Duty Warzone, because at least for myself, I've really been enjoying it, and I think it is a really standout assault rifle in this game, and in many circumstances, it actually reminds me of the Raw assault rifle when it was the meta in Warzone back during Season 3 as well as Season 4. So if you guys haven't already checked out the AK-47, make sure you go ahead and do so, and you guys will not be disappointed. Also, I do quickly want to mention that this particular class club was actually recommended to me by Johnny, who is a friend of mine, so if you guys would like to check out his Twitter, it will be linked down below. So yeah guys, with that said, that's gonna effectively wrap up this video. I hope you went on to enjoy it, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like on it down below, as well as subscribe and turn on post notifications, that way you guys will not miss any of the latest and greatest Call of Duty news, class clips, and all kinds of things like that. So once again, that's gonna about wrap up this video. I'm your host, Deeper Jungle. I hope to see you in the next one. Also, enjoy the rest of the gameplay.
Enemy soldier incoming. Enemy UAV overhead.
Move in position. Moving now. Disregard that. Movement!
You're the last one on your team.